Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Midweek Message for this week. We are on Sunday, we start our second week of Advent. Yay! And as you know, so that is the week. So the first week is hope, the second week is peace, third, joy, fourth, love. So we are approaching our week of peace. And so we're going to start thinking about that today. And as you know, as we go through Advent this year, with the midweek messages, we are using the wisdom of Vanita Wright-Hampton. So I am just going to go. I have two beautiful little things from her that I want to read to you today. And there it is. Okay. So the first one is called Using Creativity to Heal the World, which I think is just beautiful and a wonderful idea. So these are Vanita's beautiful words about Advent. When Jesus came to earth, he represented a great change in the world's currents. What was divided could now come together. What was angry and hostile could be converted to contentment and peace. What was wounded could be healed. And so we sense in Advent a powerful undercurrent of healing. The divine energy that created the universe courses through our own souls and makes it possible for us to take the raw materials of life and turn them into beauty and goodness. That power that brought human and divine together in Jesus of Nazareth fuels our hearts and minds to bring together what has been broken apart. We are meant to be creators. Even more, we are meant to be healers. So, what are the raw materials of your life during this Advent season? What can you use to make something beautiful? Your talents, your money, your friendships, your prayers. Any and all of those are great, aren't they? And what healing wonders can you perform? Can you be the peaceful ground between conflicted family members? Can you give extra to feed the hungry and clothe the naked? Can you organize events that help people use their gifts for the betterment of society? Can you create art that helps people recognize and name their wounds and also point them to hope? So that's the first idea, which I love and I think is a great way if we are working towards peace in the world, and we're starting to think about that this week, and we are already drenched in hope, I hope, because we are currently in the week of hope. Those are all things that are really relevant and good things to engage in during Advent. So, extending that idea about family members is this next little piece that she wrote, and I just also love it. It's called 5 Ways to Relate to Family Members Spiritually. And I know that this is something I've talked with a lot of you about. Because it isn't easy. Generation gaps and different understandings of society, ways that we were brought up. This generation does not know life without a computer and the internet, but we all did. So there can be a gap in understanding spirituality. So this is what Vanita has to say. She says it can be quite difficult to express personal spirituality in family situations that are not particularly friendly toward religion. And we've already talked, all of us, about the difference between religion and spirituality, the ways that they conflate and the ways that they are different. But there we go. Anyway, back to Vanita. Especially if a family has experienced religion as judgmental or strident, hurtful, and all it takes is one or two people to create that atmosphere, the door to spiritual conversations and expressions might be shut quite tightly. But if we loosen up on our concept of spirituality, we might discover that we relate quite spiritually with people who would otherwise resist religion. So she says, number 1, extend your gratitude practices to the people you love. I believe more and more, and I think I'm with St. Ignatius of Loyola on this, that gratitude is foundational to spiritual health. Boy, I agree with both of them about that. Gratitude is foundational to spiritual health, I think even physical health. So she goes on to say, if I go through life in a posture of gratitude, that will transform so many situations that would otherwise deteriorate. What I need to remember is that gratitude toward God is key, but Gratitude towards others is important too. If I make a practice of expressing to others on a regular basis what I'm grateful for in terms of their personality, gifts, efforts, and so on, I will be relating to people in a spiritually healthy way. And that will make a good impact sooner or later. I may help someone recognize his or her gifts, or I may help another to be kinder to himself or herself. Number two, help others become comfortable with silence. People who can become comfortable when there's no noise, activity, or talking will be better equipped to handle stress, problems, questions, and all sorts of emotions. I can help others make friends with silence by being silent with them, by showing them that I'm fine with sitting together for a while without saying anything, and by not rushing to get an answer or to form an opinion. I can model this sort of calm, and eventually, others who spend time with me might just come to value that spiritual discipline as well. I have to tell you, as an aside, one of the things that they talk about when you're in seminary, and certainly also in our psych courses, is maintaining a calm presence, being able to be calm, and but also emotionally attentive and available when you're a minister. And I don't always do that. I'd be the first person to admit. You guys ask me how I'm doing, and I blarge out a bunch of stuff that you may or may not have wanted to know. Uh, I I myself have to be prompted to be comfortable with silence. I am comfortable with silence. I need the prompt. I don't know about you, but sometimes I just need the prompt. Okay, back to Vanita. Number three, receive always a person as he or she is. It can be especially difficult to withhold judgment with members of your own family or circle of friends because we feel responsible for those we love. But if we can relax, trust God, and simply receive loved ones in whatever shape they're in, they will be more likely to open up to us. Maybe not right now, maybe sometime from now, and allow us to be part of the conversation about the struggling marriage or the drug problem or the personality flaws that make it difficult to hold down a job. Meeting a person first with judgment will send that person away, even if she lives in the same house. And many people have been conditioned to think that if they turn to religion, the first thing they will experience is God's horrible judgment and anger. Oh, I hope we never ever teach that to our children. God can't be love and hate at the same time. We have to model God's open arms and forgiveness. Otherwise, how will anyone know the truth about divine love? Then she says, number four, reject cynicism and promote hope. It can be a real challenge to rein in the negativity when people get together. If you have a certain friend or relative who has honed criticism and sarcasm to fine points, then pray for the patience to be just as energetic with encouragement and praise. When the conversation comes to a dark, thudding halt because everyone has helped everyone else to become even more depressed about world affairs, dare to tell the story of someone doing a wonderful, brave thing. Of course, you can't always be on task with this, or it can seem that you're arguing just as much as the other person, only with a positive emphasis. But hope is a spiritual practice, and sometimes we have to counter despair quite purposefully. Number five, and this is the last one, care more about healing than about justice. And she says, I am doing my best to swear off vengeance because the world is rank with it, and we have to make a stand. I even refrain from seeing some films because it's clear that vengeance is the major theme. And I become vengeful easily enough on my own. I don't need cultural reinforcement. So when dealing with daily issues, even conversations at a family gathering, I hope to not chime in about people getting what they deserve. And if a family or a friend or a family member is the one who's receiving that harsh judgment, I may be the only voice advocating not for vengeance and punishment, but for mercy and for growth. Well, these are just my ideas. What do you think? She says. I think she's thought provoking and wise, and I really, really appreciate her her positivity, because positivity isn't just, it doesn't have to be just one of those, sort of saccharine ideas that we or wimpy. It's not. I really believe that hope takes real courage, and hope takes a lot of work. And not seeking vengeance, trying to be that hope in the world, trying to have the courage to, because it means we have to find solutions. And I've always said to my kids that it's easy to criticize other people. And it is. It's really easy to critique others. It's a lot harder and much braver to be able to stand up for what you believe in. And first of all, formulate something you believe in yourself, and then be able to defend that and work towards it. But that, my friends, is what it means when we put something positive in the world. And I do believe we all know. And most of you know I was at a funeral of a good friend yesterday. And one of the things that was so palpably clear in the room was that Dave had made a huge impact on the little town that he lived in. A huge, and you know why? It was the actions that he chose, because words fade, but your actions are what people remember you for. And Dave was one of those people who acted, he loved with his hands and his feet. And that was really evident. That was really evident in that room. And his life is evidence of that kind of hope and that kind of courage, and building on what you believe in and actually acting on it. So as we search and we explore our hope and our peace in the coming weeks, as we go through Advent and we hear our stories again, I hope that we hear them in a way that galvanizes us to some real action, and that they fill us with the kind of hope and courage to actually go live what we believe, not just talk about it. It's not just an intellectual assent to be a spiritual person. It's actually what we do. So, so thank you, Vanita Hampton Wright, you wonderful woman. I love reading her stuff, and I love sharing it with you guys because she is thought-provoking and also positive, which is something we need in this world. All right, until next week, and in this together with you, this is Reverend Stephanie signing off. I will see you next week.